Are you giving everything into the relationship to the woman of your dreams, really trying to be a good man, and somehow you're never enough? You're always seen as the villain in her story, and she seems to treat her friends, her family, other men with more respect than she treats you. And you're holding very, very, very closely to the early stages of your relationship, to a time and place where your relationship once was. Because now you're always apologizing, you're questioning yourself, you're losing yourself, and you're wondering if you're really the problem. I completely get it, gentlemen. This is what a lot of people who are experiencing or the victims of what I call women with narcissistic tendencies, or women who are extremely, extremely immature. Now, it's really important to get the reason right. Immature or narcissistic, because to be honest, both can come out very similar. And I want to kind of highlight the fact that whether or not she's seriously narcissistic or she's just immature, the reason doesn't matter because the tendencies show up the same. And if she's not willing to meet you halfway, it'll be really hard for you to continue the relationship unless you want to lose yourself. In this video, we're going to talk about some of the signs that whether she's NPD or just immature and princess-like, if you're in a relationship with a narcissistic woman or a woman with narcissistic tendencies. Hello, my name is Christy. Welcome back to my channel. I'm a therapist and a relationship coach. Gentlemen, if you are old here, welcome back. If you're new here, again, please do me a favor and press the subscribe button, and the like button helps the algorithm and helps me understand what kind of content you guys like listening to. But my whole goal for this channel is not to make money off of it. It really is to give out information that I feel like schools don't talk about, that they don't teach properly, because honestly, relationships require real life practice and a lot of self-awareness and growth in you as a human being. And so if you want to improve your relationships, if you want better relationships, if you want more high quality relationships with women, all encompassing, continue watching. And yes, this is what the whole channel is about, because I do believe closing the polarity between people, communities, and relationships is what we need in the world today, because there's too much polarity. And I want us to really go back to grassroots. I believe communities is how we conquer life. Families are extremely important. Men and women need each other in their own special subjective differences in order to grow humanity. We can't create babies without men and women, right? So yeah, let's have a better relationship with each other. So, signs you are dating a woman who could be narcissistic or just immature. Doesn't really matter. Number one, constant need for attention and validation. And really quick example, if you're out with your friends and she gets upset, if you're having a conversation that doesn't revolve around her, or a second one is you're talking to another woman, if she is constantly berating you and acting up because you are doing your own thing, she might be very dramatic and leave, or she'll just sulk and whine and create a huge problem out of it. It's because she needs the constant attention and validation. And men, you should feel trapped because of this. But a lot of men, you give in and try to enable, and don't do that. Sign number two, she comes with a lot of charm, but very little depth. And what this means is she is all about the gifts and attention and excitement and having fun, and conversations rarely is dull, and she's not very insecure. She's not very shy about many things, and she's doesn't have a lot of code of ethics when it comes to respect or respecting, the server, and she just like acts free willingly. It's very charming to meet a person, a woman, a person, anyone who doesn't give a fuck, like, excuse my French. However, though, this is a sign that she really doesn't care, right? And if it's brought overboard, there's a difference between confidence and charm that is just out of a respectful way, but there's a difference between self-egotistical and completely self-centered. So second sign, she comes with a lot of superficial charm, but not a lot of depth. She doesn't have much to add. Number 3 is entitlement and very high expectations without the awareness of actually giving back. And this is a I don't need no man type ego, where a lot of people, or let's just say people, believe that they are high value because of certain tangible aspects. Men could be money, a really cool car, or women could be her level of attractiveness and how beautiful she is. But there's not a lot, and that must mean they should be, treated a certain way, or they will have a certain standard of how they can behave, the type of misbehavior they're allowed to do. But what I genuinely believe as high value is what we can provide for each other. And so a third sign of immature or women with narcissistic tendencies is her sense of entitlement and her high expectations doesn't align with what she's actually providing back. Really quick example is she just expects grand gifts on every holiday, and she complains constantly about your lack of effort or your effort that doesn't meet her standards because her standards is sky high, and you go above and beyond to please her, but without realizing you're not getting anything back. But also, she just sets it so that she can kind of use you. Number 4 is she lacks empathy. And I really want to make this point clear and hit it home, is the fact that she doesn't want to have empathy. It's that she's aware of other people's needs, but she just doesn't care. She doesn't choose to use it. Why? Because early on in the beginning of the relationship, I'm sure you felt her level of empathy. You felt that she was able to give. You felt that she was able to meet you halfway, or support you, or love you, or text you, or check in on you, or ask you how your day was. It's not that she doesn't know how to give empathy or use empathy. She just chooses not to. And a woman who chooses not to is very manipulative. And if you're not able to see this, don't tell me I told you so. And I hear this a lot in clients. It's that she dismisses your concerns, and you try really hard to make her understand your point of view and your level of pain and your level of struggle and her lack of effort and how it hurts you. Gentlemen, sometimes it gets to a point where your constant explanation and communication and begging her to understand isn't going to make things better. It's that she doesn't want to. So very malicious kind of trajectory. I'm not saying all women are like this. Most women are not, but this happens a lot. She lacks empathy. She chooses not to use empathy. She just doesn't want to. Number 5, manipulative behaviors. And this kind of goes along with the first point I made, is that in order for people to actually manipulate you, she needs to actually have empathy. She needs to understand your deepest, darkest secrets, your deepest, darkest fears, your deepest, darkest insecurities, in order to constantly entice you and make you crawl or climb and use you and control you. And this can be extremely frustrating, because this is the dynamic where it feels like you're never enough. It makes men feel like you're never enough. But you have to understand this type of personality type, this very small percentile of women do not care. It's actually worse for them if they care, because they don't get what they want, which is manipulating you. So please don't fall for that. Now, again, I'm talking a very small percentile. Let's not have your fears be the next chapter, but that's for another video. Number 6 is there's constant envy and competitiveness. And it's very toxic. So For instance, you might have gotten a promotion, or you've done something really amazing at work, or you've achieved one of the biggest milestones of your life, possibly selling one of your companies, or getting a new job that you really wanted, or helped your mother pay off her mortgage. Like a lot of things that are a huge celebration or need for celebration. Instead of being happy for you, she makes snide remarks that either it's you should have done that, oh, that's common behavior, like you should have gotten it by now, or maybe it's luck, like it looks she belittles you. So look for the envy and the competitiveness in the negative remarks, because it is to stoop you down and to ensure that you're never enough. And immature and women with narcissistic tendencies, kind of the same thing, will do that. Number 7 is the inability to handle criticism, and that goes with the inability to actually take accountability. You have to take criticism to take accountability, both things. And so if she's unable to really use your comments and reflect within, it's a very common sign that she's a narcissist. And this is how it usually sounds like, because we're talking about people who may just not like criticism and they're working on it, right? Although not an excuse. Or a person who's like so egotistical and grandiose that their own world is what trumps everyone. So this is what it could sound like. Maybe you're gently is already something that narcissistic victims go through. You gently suggest a different way to solve a problem. You've really listened to her yap, listened to her, constantly complain and talk bad about someone else and the drama. You've listened, what all women tell you they want. We want a man that listens. Oh my gosh, right? And you listen. And then you gently suggest a different way to solve a problem, because to be honest, you're quite tired about hearing her talk about the same problem every single day. But she responds with anger. She responds with complaining that you are not intelligent. You are the stupid one. You don't know what you're talking about. There's no way that you even have the competency to solve this problem. She's the best. And she dismisses your remarks. And what this does is, if this is done constantly, this has to be done constantly. I'm not talking about once. If it happens once, it's like she's narcissistic right away. But if this is done constantly, what it creates within the relationship is a very, very hostile relationship in which you feel like nothing you say, nothing you do, no suggestions, no information is going to be taken for seriously and is going to be taken for account. And this is a very, 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 very toxic trait and sign of a narcissistic relationship. Number 8, and this is the obvious one because it goes with the inability to take criticism and accountability. It's playing the victim. And I hear this all the time. It's constantly using her emotions, her trauma, her boundaries, her ex-boyfriends. When she was cheated on, she was dumped as a rationalization for her bad behavior, that she's always the victim. There's always a reason for her misbehavior. And for some reason, a lot of men give in. And I'm telling you, don't give in, because traumas and problems and insecurities should be a team effort to solve. But the idea is the woman or the person needs to see that it is a problem too, that it's causing hurt and pain to someone else, and it's causing hurt and pain to the relationship. And so the 8th sign of playing victim is the inability or the unwillingness to do that. So playing victim constantly because it suits her. It's honestly the easier way to live life. Number 9 is there's excessive focus on appearance and status. Everything is about how she is perceived. Everything is about how she looks. Everything. I'm talking about from the decisions in which you guys choose to make and the sacrifices in which you guys choose to make. The relationship can be horrible as long as XYZ. Huge sign of narcissistic tendencies. Insisting that you only dine in really trendy, expensive restaurants. This can be as early as in the first stages of dating and continues in the relationship. Very, 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 very important. And the more important one is she doesn't care if it's inconvenient for you. She doesn't care. Number 10 is last one that wraps everything up, and I hope you guys kind of saw this by now. She doesn't care about your boundaries. She disregards your boundaries because boundaries is a problem for her. It's not that she doesn't understand your boundaries. She just doesn't want to follow them. And it's really important for you to ask yourself at night, if she's constantly bombarding you with texts, showing up uninvited, because she misses you a lot. It's not that she doesn't know how to respect you or she doesn't know that doing something will make you mad. That cussing at you during a very intense fight is going to piss you off. It's not that she doesn't understand that fact. It's that she doesn't want to follow it. So disregarding boundaries is not about not understanding boundaries. There's a difference. If she doesn't understand the boundaries or she kind of sometimes makes mistakes, but she's successful, you see improvement, great. She might not be narcissistic. She's working on it. But if she's constantly disregarding boundaries, she has a reason for disregarding your boundaries and dismissing it. It means that she just doesn't want to follow it. So these are the 10 signs of a narcissistic person, that you're dating a narcissistic woman. Hope you found this video helpful. If you are going through a relationship where you are starting to feel like she is becoming a narcissistic person and that you missed it in the beginning, and you want to understand if you should stay or leave, feel free to book a call with me. The link is in my bio. What I'll do is essentially try to ask you as many questions as possible to help you understand whether she's immature and there could be some saving towards it. She's a good woman, but you need to change some of your behaviors to level out the power imbalance a little bit, or she's really just out to get you. So if you are interested in a call with me, click the link in my bio and book it now. And until next time, I hope you found this video really helpful. Again, press the subscribe button and the like button if you haven't already, and comment down below. Are you dating a woman who is narcissistic? How many of these traits does she show? Bye, guys.
Hi everyone, if you enjoyed our content, don't forget to follow us on TikTok and IG where we post daily, and YouTube where we post weekly.